Welcome, guys, gals, and everything in between. We're back. It is us here at the Anything Goes Mixed Martial Arts podcast, where we discuss everything and anything besides mixed martial arts because, well, why not?
Agreed.
Because irony. LOL.
Yes. Yes, because irony. Yes. Yes.
I am. That's right. We are the only show that doesn't believe in having an active time schedule.
Nope.
Because
Shit's
hence why we,
overrated.
hence why we weren't here last weekend. But we're here now, so that's all the difference it makes. I'm your currently recovering porn artist, Ryuji, and my co-host here, as always, your ever-dedicated beardo, Zord.
Yay. I've actually been taking a couple days off from streaming for some mental health issues. Well, not issues, recovery, more or less. I kind of I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember what day I started. I just kind of I looked at the stream and I looked at everything and I'm like, not right now, not right now. I didn't have the energy to do it. Um, Going through a nice energy slump right now. Got great news this last week. I should be fucking high as a goddamn kite with what the information I got because it's amazing. But right now I just feel
Oh, that
very
thing go
tired.
through?
Yeah, I'll talk about it here in a few.
Cool.
But I needed to stop and I needed to kind of deal with life at that point. I needed to deal with kind of that whole pit of depression that rushes up on me periodically that is a bitch. So I did the smart thing. I didn't stream. I didn't let the lack of viewers and nobody really showing up to watch me play video games or anybody really wanting to play Destiny 2 with me, which is really kind of sad, and I feel like crying because nobody ever wants to play Destiny 2 with me. No, I'm joking. Um, but I just needed to just take a break, get my head together, and figure it out. So I watched movies with my wife and hung out with my kids, and I played some Destiny 2 with the kids here and there. But I kind of think about what I wanted to do with my Twitch channel because I've been doing this for going on. Uh, I started back in 2000, the end of 2013, the beginning of 2014. I don't remember. Oh, February 29th, 2014 was my first stream ever. I played Super Mario RPG on this computer I put together from parts so that way I could stream. And then I got a hold of another computer that I built into a stream machine, and then we raised monies for the beast that I use now. And that was in 2000, God, 13, 14, 15 when I built this thing.
Mm.
And I've been streaming pretty regularly, and I've gotten some good numbers. I've gotten bad numbers. I've had viewers and friends come and go. I've destroyed friendships. I've created new friendships. I've had people go away with me because they didn't like something I said, and it's stressful. I mean, and then just the lack of success, which I know I shouldn't let it get to me, but it does. It frustrates me because I see so many other people, making it. Hell, I'd be happy with 50 to 60 viewers. Somebody continuously coming in there talking. I know I'm complaining. This is first world problems, but I'm just getting it out. So just let me get it out here.
No,
And
no, it's totally understandable. Like
yeah,
anybody has anybody has, especially when they're trying to put themselves out there, have in the beginning there's always some self-confidence issues, especially when you're not getting the views or the tweets or retweets or likes, whatever
yep, and
that you feel that you deserve, especially if you feel like you're putting in tons of work.
yeah, and even in recent years, I've actually pulled back a lot because I went full out, and it actually I started to make progress. I really did, and it was destroying my personal life because this was all I was doing, working in this, and didn't take care of what was truly necessary. And as soon as I stopped to take care of what was necessary, all the progress I made disappeared. And
Mm.
it's kind of frustrating nowadays that no matter how hard I try with what time I can do, it's not doing anything. You know, I can literally put in the title, hey, if you want to play this game on so and so, come on in. You know, and nothing happens, and that's okay. That is the viewer's choice. I ain't knocking the viewer. It just kind of sucks. You know, you're sitting there like, yeah, you're trying to give all this, you know, good mojo out, and they're like, yeah, fuck you, nerd, go away. And you're like, oh, okay, thank you. Hey, self-esteem. I truly appreciate you sticking around for a little bit longer.
Audience participation goes a lot further than most people believe.
What's up, Game Crunchy? How you doing, man? And it really does, especially on Twitch. So, you know, I took a couple days off to kind of figure out what I want to do. And honestly, even if I want to continue streaming, I mean, I know I want to continue doing podcasts and vlogs on YouTube, but have I run my course on Twitch? Do I feel like I've run my course on Twitch? I don't know yet, because I still get like excited to hit that start stream button and stream, thinking that, man, people can come in, we can hang out, we can talk about shit, and it's, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, like, I still love doing it, but do I want to keep doing it? Nothing much. There is an awesome guy hosting you, by this way. Who is this awesome individual? Tell me his name so I might thank him later for the hosted. Yeah, I got a bunch of hosts.
Sweet.
Oh, Turbo. Man, I know Turbo. Man, me and Turbo go back for fucking ever. Turbo's a good guy, man. I actually, matter of fact, now that I think about it, I knew Turbo when he was, like, a teenager. Here's the other thing that blows my mind, and I'm sorry to go off on this rant, but it's the anything goes, Tony. It's the anything goes. Okay?
Anything goes.
I have actually met and befriended people that have grown up playing video games with me, and this is fantastic that we can do this nowadays. My friend GW, he was on one episode, like 2 episodes ago, or last episode, I think. I don't remember. But
yeah, about 1 or 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. I met him when he was 14. He's like 19 now. Turbo, I met Turbo when he was still in high school. And he's grown up now. It's insane. These people that I used to like pick on and have I get to see that. I've had people tell me that, you know, I made a video and I was depressed, and then I watched your video and you said something in that video that helped me out and helped me pull through my depression, and I'm sitting here going, you can't do this shit to me. I can't handle these kind of emails, man. You know, those things are beautiful and amazing, and I'm glad that my rambling has helped somebody. You know, even if it's just like a piece of advice that I don't even think about when I spew it out, because I actually do spew out pieces of advice that make freaking sense to somebody in this world, you know, and it's humbling as shit, I'll tell you that, to get those emails. And to anybody that I ever help, man, you guys are awesome. Keep trucking along, man. Keep trucking. Because no matter how bad it seems, no matter how rough your life is, no matter how hard that depression is, no matter how hard it feels like an elephant is sitting on your chest, remember, one day, might not be tomorrow, might not be right away, but one day that elephant's going to get the fuck up, and you have to live that life. You got to pull on through that life, and you got to make it the best there is, because that's it, man. We get one life, all right? This is literally permadeath, man. Perma-fucking death. There is no restart, okay? We get that one life, and it ain't very long.
This is Dark Souls professional mode.
Exactly, and we have to live it the best we can. And if you're feeling down in the dumps, man, keep fucking trucking through. Keep pushing through. Keep looking, find a goal, and fight to achieve it, you know? Fight to fucking achieve it, because that's what you gotta do, man. Find that goal. And
even if sometimes that goal might not be what's in everyone else's interests, as long as it's in your interests.
Unless
Because
it's
that's what matters.
unless your goal is like serial killing, robbing bank, or mass murder,
Yeah, I mean, if it's at
anything
the
like that, don't follow that goal. But
if
like,
your goals are at the cost of someone else's life or pursuit of happiness, maybe reevaluate what kind of goals you have.
exactly. But I mean,
But
like, okay,
but if it ain't hurting anybody, then why not go for it, balls to the wall?
pursue it like that dog that sees the steak on the outside of the fence. Okay, pursue
One
that
way,
shit.
one way or another, that dog will get to that fence.
Hell yeah, pursue it, man. And that's actually going to segue into the good news this week. So I went to school for IT. I have a networking degree, and I've always been in love with computers and hardware and the software, not so much, but I know enough to do what I need to do, and I can always learn more. I'm always willing to learn more. After years and years of applying for IT positions, everybody turning me down because I got the millennial catch 22. Oh, you want an IT job? Do you have any experience? No. Well, you need to get experience. Well, then I need a job. Well, but you need a job to get experience. But you need experience to get a job. And round it goes.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, right. September last year, actually, it was before that, I met one of my friends, Dreek, playing Pokemon Go with Kira roaming around. We randomly ran into him and his girlfriend, and we kept meeting up. So about the third time we met up, I'm like, the universe is trying to say we need to be friends. We need to talk. We need to hang out. What's your phone number? And we stayed in touch. We actually still stay in touch because we both work at the same place now. So one day we were out, and he came up on us, and we were like, I gotta go to work. I'm like, hey man, where do you work? He's like, this place. I'm not gonna use any other big names of where I work or anything like that. And I'm like, are they hiring? And he's like, always. I'm like, oh, well, that's slightly ominous, but what the heck? So he's like, yeah, we need Lyft drivers. I'm like, hey. So I went and applied. I just applied. I didn't know what the hell I was applying for. It could have either been working in a mezzanine or it could have been a Lyft driver. All I knew, I was just going to try to get in there. So at the whole, onboarding and all this stuff at the temp agency that I had to go through, they were like, does anybody know how to drive a forklift? I'm like, yo, I got about like 5-6 years of forklift experience. And they're like, oh, excellent. You want to be a forklift driver? I'm like, yes. Yes, I would like to be a forklift driver. So they went in, I did the extra stuff, and I became a Lyft driver. So what come to find out is, over the last 2 years since this distribution center opened up, they've had the worst luck possible with employees, and it was a fucking mess, okay? And they've spent the last, 6 months since new management came in and everything cleaning the mess up and getting it back into order. And the first move by the management is anybody who's been there longer as a temp, longer than, 6 months, they got hired in immediately. Okay? If they were worth it, they got hired in. No arguments, no nothing. Because they proved their mettle, they were worth it. And they set down a new rules. Like, if you work all your time through the temp agency, you've been there long enough, you haven't lost all your points, you get hired in. Plain and simple. We make a job offer, you're now an employee of the company. So my plan was, okay, let's do this. Let me get hired in. Now, as soon as I get hired in, I'm going to start the process of trying to move over to the IT department. Well, I started that process way before I got hired in. As a matter of fact, I decided any person that looks even remotely important is going to hear my plan. Okay? So everybody heard my plan. Everybody. Anybody who held still long enough, they found out what I wanted to do. I promise you. It was even mentioned that I told everybody in the interview. It was funny. I'll go over that in a minute. So I got hired in, and I'm now a full-time employee, nice little raise, all that fun stuff. Good hours, decent benefits. It's not a bad job. The job is easy. The job is stupid easy. A monkey could do this job. It pays well. The hours are good. my lead, my manager, everybody I work with, freaking amazing. As a matter of fact, the one person I had a problem with, that we had issue with, we solved that shit last week. We were walking out of the warehouse, and something about our personalities just did not get along with each other. And I stopped and I held the door for her, and she's like, well, aren't you acting really gentlemanly today? And I said, listen, I'm tired of arguing with you. And since then, we've had zero problem. Since then, it has been, how are you doing today? Good, good. So, about a month ago, the head honcho, because I come to find out that the head honcho of the entire distribution center, I'm talking the person who is in charge of everything, he plays video games. Oh, and he plays Destiny too. As a matter of fact, he's on my Battle.net account. One day, when he has time, we'll play video games together. I'm completely okay with that. He had been keeping an ear to the ground to find out whenever the IT department was hiring for any infrastructure people. Because he was like, I know what you want to do. I'm going to help you do what you're going to do. So it got closer, and they were like, hire this dude. Just hire him. Give him a shot. He wants to do this. Trust me. Stand still next to him long enough. He'll tell you he wants to do it. For 20 minutes. Right? So, I finally got it. I got an interview. I sat down. By the way, two of the people that gave me the interview, one of them I knew. He is the one other infrastructure guy, because this is why they needed to hire more infrastructure people. There is one guy for the distribution center and the innovation center. Okay? And they're 30 minutes apart. Just to give you an idea of how far he has to travel. And most of the time he has to be over at the innovation center. Alright? What's going on, Kill King? What's going on, Demon Ezekiel? How are you guys doing today? Anyways, so I've been talking to him because I had caught him enough to talk to him and develop a friendship and tell him, hey, I'm this is what I'm looking for. Here's the plan. And he's like, I'm all for this plan. I will help you. You have, me standing by your side. When it comes to it, your name will be first. And he stood by that, by the way. What's up, Turbo, my dude? How are you? And, he did. He actually did. When it came to it, he's like, hire this guy. No. Hire this guy. Hire this guy. So, went into the interview. The other fellow, which is in charge of the entire IT department, I had actually nailed him down, told him the plan. And then the other gentleman had actually only been there for about 3 weeks, and I had no clue he was there, because if I had a clue he was there, he'd have heard my plan too. Okay. Hey, dude, Turbo, thanks for the host, man. You're beautiful and awesome, and I love your face. And I know it's an auto host. I don't care, Turbo. Anyways, so in there, they asked me some technical questions. I answered them. They asked me how I would deal with certain situations. I answered them. And at one point in the interview, he's like, it's like, we want you to get experience. Okay, that's what we want you to get. You are literally getting what you've been talking about to us for the last 6 months about. You're gonna get this. Okay, we just got to figure out how to do it. And I'm like, okay. I said, you've told everybody your plan. Is there anybody in this place that you haven't told your plan to? And I'm like, that guy, because he's new. And everybody started busting out laughing, because literally, he was new. I didn't get a chance to tell him. But he knows the plan now.
All right.
So they were like, okay, so I'm going to talk to them, my bosses, and we'll let you know what's going on. So about 2 days later, Daniel, one of the higher-ups, looks at me, and, he's pointing at the ground in front of him, because me and him have that relationship of I'll say something rude to him and he'll say something rude back to me, and it's all in good fun. Okay, we all have fun. We make jokes at each other. We laugh. I'll flip him the bird. He'll flip me the bird back. It's a perfect relationship with those guys. We when I am serious, they understand that I am serious. When I am joking around, they know to laugh. You know what I mean? It's great. I know I'm dominating this part of the conversation. I'm sorry, Tony.
No, it's cool. Not important.
So he's standing there and he's pointing at the ground, looking all angry, and I'm like, I didn't do it. She said she was 18. I swear those weren't my drugs. You know, just randomly yelling as I'm riding up. And he tells me what happened, what's going on. So the plan is May 13th. I will be going over to the Innovation Center to start my training in the IT department. For that entire week, this is the best part about it, I'll be going over to the Innovation Center, which is 10 minutes from my house compared to the 30 minutes to my house. Woo! So beautiful. I actually get to sleep in. Anyways, I'll be going over there. I'll be training. You know, I got to take notes. I got to study, blah, blah, blah. All the stuff that comes with the job, I'm down for it. It's going to be fun for me, okay? And after that, I'll be bouncing between the DC and the Innovation Center, the Distribution Center and the Innovation Center. Now, the way it works is for 45 days, I will be working with the IT department, but I will be technically employed by the Distribution Center. So my paycheck still comes from the Distribution Center. They are technically still my bosses, but the IT department is my boss, okay? So regardless of what happens at the end of the 45 days, I will have 45 days of experience. Now, after 30 to 45 days, if they want to keep me, they're going to make me a job offer. Okay, that job offer will be, you're going to be, you know, this much, this is your job, take it or leave it, whatever. Okay, I'm going to accept the job offer, you know, and it should be good, because it'll be a salary position, 40 hours a week, and salary pays really good. Now, if everything does not work out, which it won't, because I'm going to make it work.
Knock on wood.
After 45 days, I'll go back to my lift. No harm, no foul. I have a 45-day internship I can put on my resume. Plain and simple. This works out for me no matter how it turns out. Which is amazing. And I can't, like, you know, there's no way to convey to me, for me to convey to those guys that I truly appreciate everything they did for me. Because they didn't have to do this. They could have just, you know, disregarded me and dusted me off and told me to go drop my lift. But they actually, you know, helped me get to this point, which is fucking amazing. It is absolutely amazing. So, I now have the longest month of my life. Now, I have to wait till May 13th to start my new job. It is going to be the longest month ever. And what's funny is two of the guys were there that, you know, buddy with. Now, it is, you know, it's buddy, but in the sense of that they're my boss and I'm the employee. And if they ask me to do something, there is no, oh, yeah, sure, whatever. No, there's, yeah, no problem, I got it. Absolutely. But also I can look at them and go, yeah, you're number one, buddy, and give them the finger, you know, and they flip me back off and we go back to work. So I look at them and I go, you guys know that I cannot tell you how much I appreciate everything you guys are doing for me, and there's no bounds to that. But I would just like to let you guys know that you've just put me in the longest month of my life, and this is for you guys. And I give them the bird. And they're both like, yeah, you're not wrong. I started laughing. So I'm finally getting to my goal. And I am excited and terrified and stressed and worried and not worried, but worried and blah. And then, you know, and yeah, that's it. I got nothing to close this up with.
Yeah, accomplishing goals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what we're going into. Accomplish goals, man. If you're down in the dumps, pick a fucking goal and trudge toward that thing like there's no tomorrow. Get there. Just get there, man. Just fucking get there. Because when you get there, it's sweet. It's glorious. It's happy. It is better than beating a video game. Okay? Because we all get that. Oh man, I just beat a video game. Yeah, but when you do something to accomplish something in your life goal, so much fucking better. Okay, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in my chat, and damn, I'm going to get caught up, but that is awesome. you know? Yeah, IT, I'll be doing infrastructure, so it'll be like computer repair stuff. It'll be help troubleshooting issues. It'll be repairing the equipment they use in the warehouse and stuff like that. So it'll be stuff I actually really like doing. What if life goal is beating a video game? Then trudge towards that shit, homie.
Mm.
And then figure out another life goal because, well, that's kind of a short-term life goal, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing about goals, is that they can be short-term or long-term.
Yep.
And sometimes the long-term ones will turn into short-term ones, depending on your progression.
Absolutely. All right. So, how was your week? How was your last 2 weeks, Tone?
About to say, dude, man, you done talked about your life story, and all I've done was the intro.
and occasional, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to put something you're talking over me. Never mind. It is boring, Italian dude. It is boring as shit, but it's a good job. Hold on, I'm sorry. Working at a warehouse is boring depending on what you're doing, but it is a solid, good, paying, stable job. So, I mean, I understand exactly what Italian dude's saying, man. I get you, bro. I'm sorry, Tony. Continue. I'm not going to cut you off this time. I promise. I'm going to mute the mic so you can speak.
I'm just waiting for it. Like, just, you know what? I'm just going to create a sound myself doing, yeah, yeah, sure, yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, what were you about to say, Ty?
Okay, so,
also, you know what's good about, you know what you need when you work in a warehouse? You need a good pair of shoes, man. That high quality. Don't slink on the shoes while working in a warehouse. Seriously, I don't like spending a lot of money on my outfits, but damn, like, they're not lying when you get a high quality pair of shoes, man. You need them for warehouse work. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tony. I could feel the annoyance radiating through the headphones.
Oh no, it's cool. Let me see. Okay. Looks like that order of ammo on Amazon is about to come in. Great.
How was your last 2 weeks?
Miserable.
What happened?
Yeah. I don't know whether it was the flu or allergies, but I've been out of commission for like the past while and a half. Just laid up in bed, sick, not motivated to do anything, no energy, aches and pains, that whole spiel.
I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
It does suck. But now I'm getting over it, so I'm able to somewhat rejoin the world again.
Yay for feeling better.
I'm slowly knocking out the art that I owe folks, so I can start working on more personal stuff again. Let's see, what else? To segue into the goals discussion we had earlier, I've gotten into the habit of platinuming a few of the games I had on my list. So I'm beating them and then getting them off my hard drive so I can download other games. Most recent ones to beat were, to add to that list, were the Castlevania collection that they recently made for the PS4. It had a Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood on it.
Yeah, I downloaded it.
Platinum that sucker. Recently.
Nice.
Let's see. A Platinum Resident Evil 2, which was initially very hard. The hardest part of that is getting S plus rank on hardcore mode for Leon and Claire.
Man, you know something? You like go all out on that shit. You're like S plus rank. I'm sitting here smiling like a fucking kid who just got a Nintendo 64 for Christmas when I get an S. I'm like, I did an S, and Tony's like, you could have got an S plus. I'm like,
well, dude, you know how it is. Like, like even back when during the original one, once you've beaten the game and you've gotten over all the scares, you're like, okay, what can I unlock? Because as if you've ever played the classic games, one of the things that they brought over from the new one, the remake, is that once you've mastered the game, you unlock the cool shit, and the cool shit equals unlimited ammo weapons. So once I've gotten over how Mr. X is going to give me the cardio training of a lifetime, and I finally figured out the best routes to like which zombies I need to kill, which ones I can avoid, then I finally got to the point where I'm motivated enough to be like, okay, I'm going to do this, ignore that, pick up this weapon, ignore this weapon because that's out of the way. And now I'm finally walking around the Raccoon City Police Department with a fucking unlimited ammo heavy machine gun that Claire uses at the end of her B run.
Nice.
Mowing down zombies whenever I feel like, oh, you know what, I'm kind of down. I'm going to just kill a bunch of random motherfuckers.
Zombies? What zombies? I don't see any.
And the best part about that thing is that you don't have to reload.
Right.
You just unload on hapless zombies as long and as often as you want to. Just as long as you don't board up any of the first floor windows.
So you can just have them continuously spawn in and hose them down?
Exactly. And then when Mr. X shows up, just pop him in the face for about 5 minutes straight, and he's dealt with for a good 5 minutes.
X is gonna what? That's what I thought.
Take this hot load into the face.
X is gonna take this load to the face like a porn star, bitch. Nah, I hear you, man. God, I wish I had the time to do stuff like that. Like, as I've gotten busier and older and kids and wife and life and all that stuff, man, it's like, holy crap. Like, at one point, I used to be able to knock out all of my weekly stuff on Destiny on all 3 of my characters. Now, I'm picking and choosing which one character on each system that I need to try to take care of as many as possible on what day. Like today, I went down and I knocked out all the Gambit stuff on PC. I need to go on to PS4 at some point before reset and finish up a couple things before Tuesday. And then, not even mention, I have my Lock and my Titan on PC. Then I have my Lock and Titan on PS4, which I haven't even touched since I got back on PS4. I've just been working with my Hunter. And I'm sitting there going, I wish I had more time. Plus, I have to do Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry 5. I got Days Gone coming out soon. I got a shitload of games on PC I want to play. And, Metro Exodus. I did manage to recover my save file that I want to play again. And I'm sitting there going, I don't have time to do this. I wish I did. And then when I do stream, I have limited amount of time. I have an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on what time I get started, to actually do it during the week, because I had to, in order, like I said, streaming actually kind of damaged my private life, and I needed to step it back and take less time. And since I have to be up at what the hell time is it in the morning, I can only stream until about 10 o'clock, and then I gotta be in bed. If I'm not in bed by a certain time, I'm exhausted. I wish I had more time to stream. I really do. I wish you lived closer, man, because I'd have you stream on my channel when I'm not streaming, and then people could be really confused, going, "Who the hell is this guy?" Whenever I stream.
When did Zord shave and become black?
Right, exactly. Actually, technically, after a while, I'd be like, when did Zord become a fat white guy with a beard? What is this shit? So I don't know, man. I wish I had more time.
To the lore, we morphed.
That's right, we morphed.
This is my morph form.
That's right. It's morphin', or no, henshin.
That's right. Henshin and go-go, baby.
Literally, Kamen Rider Black.
Oh, dear.
Oh, God. Yeah. No. Yeah, so what else you got now that I've...
How many members of our audience is generally over the age of 18?
How many of you guys are over the age of 18? Sound off in the chat, please. We'd truly appreciate it. Apparently, Crunchy is 15, Talion is 22, Turbo is 24, and Camper is 12, which, I've talked to Camper in real life, I know.
Well, shoot.
Nah, Camper ain't 12.
Some of y'all are going to miss out on some of this greatness. If any of y'all peruser of the fine arts known as source filmmaker porn.
Oh boy.
That goes by the name of Studio Foul, or FOW, however you want to pronounce their names.
Did you switch your mics?
Hello.
There we go, that's better. Go ahead, keep talking.
Oh yeah, Studio Foul, or Studio FOW. Makers of the finest animated pornography have decided to get into gaming.
Interesting.
Yep. Based on a Kickstarter that they released about 2 weeks ago or so. And it's actually been successfully funded like 7 times over.
Well, I mean, I'm not shocked to see that, to be completely honest.
But basically what they're going to be doing is they're going to be making this game that's kind of like their own take on Mass Effect with shoot 'em up elements.
Okay.
And rather than it being like a third-person shooter, when it comes to the non-ship exploration portions of the game, it's going to be a grid-based tactical RPG.
Okay.
So, because I mentioned Mass Effect, obviously that means it is a sci-fi-based game. You, based on the premise of what I've read so far, basically you are the captain of a group of rebellious people who are rebelling against this government who's basically like space Puritans. They hate anything lewd.
Oh boy.
Oh yes. Anything that involves anime titties, they are against it.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable indeed. So, you and your crew of hand-selected waifus basically are going around the galaxy
Always
collecting resources, teammates, and the occasional accessories so that you could take down the man in the sexiest way possible.
Dildos and strap-ons.
Dildos and strap-ons included. But yeah, if you're knowledgeable of Studio Foul and the quality of work they do based on just their animated works alone, then you should already know the quality of work that they're putting into this game. It's being run on the Unreal Engine the public version, so it's looking to be pretty decent. The ship parts is basically like an old school shoot 'em up, like let's see, what's a good one, like Raiden or 1942. What's another good shmup game?
Like side-scrolling plane shooter games, stuff like that?
Side-scrolling plane shooter, bullet hell stuff.
Bangai-O!
Bangai-O, yes! Basically, that's what's going to happen during the ship portions.
I need to find a copy of that for the Dreamcast, like something fierce. I need Bangai-O.
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 Man.
Speaking of which, anybody out there in the computer land, out there in the internets, in the interwebs, if you guys would like to help a brother out on getting a hold of some Dreamcast games, I would forever be grateful.
Locate your local mom and pop shops or any eBay or Amazon stores. Anybody who has any Dreamcast games, go.
I'm looking for the Evolution games 1 and 2, Bangai-O, Power Stones 1 and 2,
especially 2,
and anything else that seems really cool. I have a good selection right now. I have to find my copy of Sonic Adventure 2.
Skies of Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia would be absolutely amazing. Legends of Grandia, or is it Legends of Grandia?
Yep, Legends of Grandia.
No, it's Grandia.
Or just Grandia.
Yeah, Grandia. Either one of those, one or two, would be amazing. I mean, it's completely up to you guys, obviously, if you want to help support this or not. But
if you really want to be a bro, get Zord a copy of Blue Stinger.
Hell yeah, Blue Stinger, man.
Oh, that game.
Yeah, dude. Holy crap. But, you know, that's up to you guys, of course. But anything you guys can find, track down, and hook a brother up with, I would truly appreciate it. Beyond belief, I would truly appreciate it. So, yeah, continue, Tony.
Hell, if you want to get him a copy of Virtua Tennis, that'd be even awesomer. Just because of how rare that game is.
What game?
Virtua Tennis.
Oh, Virtual Tennis? I'd play the shit out of it.
Well, yeah, that's what basically that's what Studio 5's been up to. They the Kickstarter was for like 1,300 British pounds, but like I said, they've surpassed that by like 7 times over. So they're looking into a bunch of different milestones to offer folks. One thing that they did mention though is that that I thought was actually a really good thing for anybody who's looking into doing any Kickstarter stuff involving games or whatever.
Hold on, Tony. Why would you ever do this to a dog? Apparently, somebody bred a husky and a corgi. It's adorable, but why?
Oh
my
I've
god!
seen that before.
That poor dog.
I've seen pictures of it before, and it's cute and it's adorable, but you don't do that to a husky.
It looks like a confused husky. He's like, I am a feral hunter of the wild in Alaska, but I'm also a cute little, corgi with my little feet. Look at my little itty bitty stubby legs.
I'm the most savage footstool you'll ever know.
Okay, continue.
Give me your ankles.
That's right.
Let's see. What
you said something about Kickstarter games.
They mentioned something about which is good. But I think once I read it, I thought it was initially kind of weird, but now that I've thought about it a bit more, it makes a lot of sense. When it comes to their tier rewards and whatnot for their backers, all of them are going to be digital, no physical copies.
Okay.
Now, here's why I think that is a good decision. How many good Kickstarter ideas that you've seen or supported got bugged down because of complications of physical copy rewards?
A lot.
Exactly. This is why they decided. So that's why they decided that any sort of rewards that they come up with that they're going to hand out to their backers, they're all going to be digital versions only. That way, it doesn't affect things like logistics, resources, and they can also like take manage things more correctly, like as far as delivering things on time. Should something happen along the way, there's not that much as far as like costs go to correct that problem. So I think that's a pretty smart thing to do. So if anybody out there is working on a Kickstarter idea of their own, maybe consider going that route when it comes to rewards for your fans or your backers.
No, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea at all. You know what game I'm waiting for to come out of Kickstart, and I paid for it so long ago.
Bloodstained Ritual of the Night?
No. Shenmue 3.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. They're working on it.
I know, and it better be worth it, man. I better be able to work a mundane job while I play this game.
Good news, I just read an article that said that the lifts are back.
Yeah?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's another game. While you're on the search, the Shenmue games on Dreamcast would be amazing.
Shenmue 1 and 2.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I feel better ever since I just went on that. That wasn't really a rant or tirade, but on that speech, I guess.
Sometimes you just gotta vent.
Yeah, I don't even really think it was. Well, I guess it was venting. I guess it was venting.
It
But I
it,
think
it exactly
I feel
was
better.
venting.
Yeah, I feel better.
Good, good.
Yep.
You know what else makes you feel better?
Hmm.
Dumping on people who deserve it.
Oh, like who?
Like the folks at BioWare and EA. That's right, folks. Reset the clock. It's time to dump on Anthem again.
Did
But
we
this
ever really
time,
stop?
oh no, no, no. But they kind of did for for games like Fallout 76, where there's at least a week or so before something else bad happens.
That's yeah. Okay,
But with
fair
Anthem,
enough.
it's kind of a constant roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
So, props to well, for me, props to Angry Joe for bringing the article to light. But a recent article at Kotaku, of all places, actually delved into the hows and the whys, the naze-nazos for you Japanese folks out there, of what exactly went down and why Anthem was given to us in such a shit format.
Okay.
So I've basically broken it down to a few things, and I have a bunch of other side things to mention. But basically, it goes like this. Number one, Anthem was in pre-production, and if anybody knows what pre-production is, that's basically the idea stage from 2012 to 2018.
Good lord.
That means Anthem was basically in full-on actual production for about a year and some change.
Wow.
Yeah. They were still in alpha for a good 6-7 years before they finally switched to beta. And beta was only a year in some.
And it was still this bad?
Yes.
Ugh.
That's the biggest red flag I feel in my opinion right there. But it goes even deeper. Number two, the team at BioWare was basically forced by EA to use their god-awful Frostbite engine.
Ugh.
Now, if you are a developer of any sort or know of anything about game development, you would know that the Frostbite engine is shit for anything outside of first person. Excuse me. Especially if any of those games have any RPG elements that's involved. So a lot of the stuff that they have to create, like an inventory system, they had to build from the ground up. Which is weird because BioWare, if you look at Mass Effect, it's basically an RPG with shooter elements.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the stuff they already know how to make, but they only know how to make it within the engines that they had in-house. Frostbite, they basically had to code that stuff from scratch.
Oh boy.
So that took a lot of time, as one could expect.
Yeah.
Number three, this one's a bit more obviously, once I say it, it's gonna, it's something to be expected. Teams at both EA and BioWare were mismanaged heavily. Going so far as so that basically team members were pulled from one project to work on another project. Folks were doing double duty on some things, and it was just helter-skelter all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the state of the game, you could probably already see that. Like, how many people did they have working on this? Probably less than you think. Now, number four, I'm going to ask a quick question.
Okay.
And this is for anybody who's actually ever played the game. Have y'all ever experienced any issues where you basically couldn't even log into the servers? Like the servers had a downtime that was either unexpected, or they basically said, or if you read that little weird how to beta test Anthem PR thing that they released, which basically said these are the set times when you can actually play the beta and
Yeah, I did.
well, the server issue is a lot bigger than we all initially thought, because number 4, they had little to no time to play test their own title due to several issues. One of them primarily being that their own server were down several times. So not only could you guys not play the game, they could hardly ever test the damn thing because their own servers would most of the time. Which means that a lot of the features that they were working on were either just blue-balled into space because they couldn't implement any testing time for it, or it's buggy as hell because anytime they wanted to make any updates or changes to it, they couldn't update those servers, upload those changes to the server. Which will probably explain why that whole issue that everybody discovered about the flamethrower dealing 0 damage with a 0% burn rate.
That is amazing.
Oh dear. All right, now this one, number 5. This one also is for people who've actually played the game. The infamous Tombs level. Yeah, pretty much. If you've ever gone to that portion of the games, basically like the in-game stuff, where you get to this one area and they basically tell you this is the section where you got to do a hell of a lot of grind. Game. It was We most players, if you're ever in in any sort of video game setting where you see that kind of situation, you already know it was designed to basically throttle player activity and slow the game down, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how, like, say, like when we were playing Final Fantasy IX, just before you get to the part where you have to fight the final boss,
Yeah.
and the world opens up, and you know there's going to be like hell of a lot of grinding before you decide to get to the final boss. Basically, that's what the Tombs level was. Only there was, get this, there was even a worse version of that.
That is horrible.
It would basically force players to wait days before they could finally progress through it. But at the last second, they decided to take that out of the final version. But yeah, whenever you feel like a game has added something to artificially pad playtime, yeah, that's what the Tombs levels were designed to do.
That's lame.
Yeah.
Here's
It's not exactly groundbreaking stuff, and it's not exactly new to game development as a whole, but it's still kind of shitty that some developers will still resort to that old tactic.
That's not surprising, though. I mean, the condition that games are in now today is just appalling. You know, they're more like, oh, can I line my pocket with these microtransactions? Of course I can, because people will buy them. And I'm not saying I'm not one of those idiots that buy them, because I am. I've spent more money than I'm proud of on Destiny 2. Okay? I'm not gonna lie. I have. But now, Destiny 2 is owned by Bungie, which is, go Bungie. And hopefully it won't be complete shite from here on out. We're hoping. Now, on a happier note, EA finally shut up and listened to the fans, and Respawn Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order arrives November 15th. This is going to be the first single-player Star Wars game that's came out in years.
Wait, are they talking about the game that they canned for little to no good reason?
I have a feeling that this is the corpse of Star Wars 1313. Okay?
Okay.
Alright, it's done by Respawn or whatever the game Visceral was working on, but I have a feeling that this is built off the corpse of those two games. And what EA seems to have finally gotten, I'm not sure if they actually have gotten it or they're just doing this because, Disney's like, hey guys, you're fucking with our profit here.
We're kind of tired of giving you money.
Yeah.
Amount of money back.
Is, yes, Star Wars multiplayer games are fine. They're good. But a lot of people don't want to play a fucking Star Wars multiplayer game. We want to dive into the Star Wars world. We want to be a goddamn Jedi. We want to be a stormtrooper. We want to be a bounty hunter. We want to be the guy who runs the little ramen shop that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn stopped at when Obi-Wan was a Padawan, okay? We want to be the beggar on the street. We want to be part of the universe. Not some nameless soldier that dies over and over again during some boring-ass battle that nobody gives a fuck about because, oh my god, my Katie is going down. But we want to experience...
I want an option where I can buy death sticks.
Yes, I want an option where I can buy death sticks. I completely agree with you 100%. Don't get me wrong. The multiplayer portion of Star Wars should always be there because people do want to play it. But also, I want a single player adventure. I want to be Boba Fett.
Some people want to experience the story portion rather than the action portion of some of their favorite stories.
Exactly. And I'm glad that they finally got their head out of their ass and actually released something decent because it was a lot of bullshit. I mean, that was so stupid.
Speaking of bullshit, getting back into this, because we got a few more things.
Okay.
We're finally done. All right, number 6.
All right.
This one is probably the most distressing. The CEO of EA went to go play a version of the game in early 2017. He didn't like it. Basically said, this is not what you promised me. But later in spring of that same year, BioWare had him play another build of it where they had put the flight mechanics back in. And then he said he actually enjoyed playing the game. So, you doing the Iron Man thing all over the place, that was originally just supposed to be a method for you to just get from point A to point B. You weren't supposed to be able to fly during missions.
Because the whole flying around bit is the most entertaining part of the game. Oh, look, I get to fly, but now we have to cool ourselves down. Let's fly through this water. Oh, yay, now we're soaking wet, but at least our jets are cooled. Oh, let's fly over here.
Any game developer knows that once you've unlocked the ability to fly, that's probably the best portion of any game. Hell, in Kingdom Hearts, when I learned the ability to glide, that was when I felt the game opened up to me. Let's see. This one is probably the most ironic of all. The game wasn't even called Anthem a week before we saw the trailer at E3.
What was it called?
It was supposed to be called Beyond.
I would have rather have played Beyond.
And here's a reason why it was supposed to be called Beyond. It was called Beyond because they were supposed to sell the fact that you were going beyond the outskirts of the protection of the city. Like, you were going beyond the walls of this fortress out into this great unknown to discover all these fantastical, weirdly alchemical things that you don't quite understand yet, but it's out there and you have to go discover it. And the only way that you can discover it is within these suits that you're in, the javelins and all this mythical BS stuff. But now this one is not exactly on them. Beyond was already trademarked, so they couldn't actually use it.
With what?
Somebody else had already taken it. The article didn't really say
Beyond
who.
Two Souls.
Probably.
Okay.
Um, then again, there's a bunch of stuff called Beyond that I could probably think of off the top of my head. Beyond Two Souls being one of them.
Hmm.
So, but the fact that they had to wait like a week before their E3 presentation to even know what to call this thing is a bit unnerving.
Yeah, I played the alpha for this game and I was like, it's all right. It'll get boring quick. It's all right.
Now, speaking of E3, here's something that's even distressing.
All right.
Um, you know how hyped the gameplay footage looked for the E3, their first E3 trailer, right?
Yeah. With the really
Guy-
bad scripted chatter.
Yeah, the scripted chatter, the 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 people Iron Manning into action, and all right, everybody look out! I'm about to do my ult. Oh, I felt so. Oh man, look at this loot. I hope it's a bigger number than my old number.
I'm gonna ultimate all over this place. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh yeah. Ulting all over this place.
Pouncing it.
Oh yeah.
Imagine,
Hold on,
Imagine
Tony.
it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Huh? Pouncing it. Pouncing it.
Okay, I'm holding.
Pouncing
This is
it.
me holding.
Pouncing
Holding
it.
on to something. I'm not sure what it is.
Pouncing it.
Okay, now
Big?
continue.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna drop this thing. Now, imagine being on the dev team who's prototyped this thing for 7 years. Or 6+ years. Looking at the E3 trailer and go, oh, that's what we're supposed to make. Because that's the general feeling that everybody got who worked on this game when they saw this trailer get pumped out for E3. No one knew what they were trying to make. They were just creating assets, not knowing what direction that this game was going to go in.
And this falls right back to those things, that thing we were talking about at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Goals. Set a goal and
Set
work
clear
towards. Set clear goals.
physical goals.
And tell everybody your goals and make it happen. Because
Not-
apparently EA did not set a clear goal.
EA or BioWare.
Oh God,
EA,
that's
EA basically said, make us a shooter game using, and you have to use the Frostbite engine. BioWare was like, okay.
okay.
Then 7 years later, EA's like, where's my game? BioWare's like, we have a game.
Okay.
And then
check this out.
hundreds of thousands of dollars and man hours spent later, the E3 trailer comes out and people are like, oh, that's what we're making.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody, we got the Anthem shirts finally put them on.
Here's the game you guys have been working on for the last 7 years. What? We've been working on a game? Really?
Imagine making Super Mario and thinking all this time you were. It's just imagine making Super Mario 1, and imagine you were going to make a first-person shooter
Right?
this entire time.
Whoa, this is so much better than I thought it was supposed to be, man. That's
Imagine working on Legend of Zelda and thinking that all this time it was going to be a text-based adventure.
and this is coming from one of the companies that destroyed Visceral Games, the company that brought us Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. I mean, 3. Let's be honest, 3 was not as good as 1 and 2, but it was fun in different ways. But Visceral gave us these 3 amazing games, and then EA is like, "Oh well, you're not making this stuff. Oh, you're fired, all of you. We're closing this studio because fans want a different game than you're working on. They want more FPS with loot boxes. Can you
You
make a
guys,
Dead Space that's FPS with loot boxes? I don't think that's gonna work. Oh, closed.
you guys made, you guys sold 3 million copies. We expect you to sell 5.
Yep, pretty much. We could have had a Dead Space 4 that didn't star Isaac or John. It could have been on Earth, and John and Isaac could have showed up at the end and been there helping, fight the necromorphs. It could have followed the girl. What is her name? Hold on, I'll remember it.
Ellie?
Ellie. Could have followed Ellie when she was on Earth. And that would have been absolutely astounding. I would have loved to have played as Ellie. And, she drops herself into a freaking engineering outfit and fucking BFBs some people and,
The big goddamn boot.
big fucking boot. She has one boot 10 times the size of her other boot and walks around clong, clong, clong. What's that for? That's for crushing necromorphs.
The bullets just to slow them down.
That's right. Um, they could have done so much. Carver, that was his last name. It should have been so much, but they didn't let him do it. They didn't let him make a fourth one because the third one didn't sell as many copies. Because the third wasn't a true Dead Space game. It was good. It had the characters, continued the story. I loved the story, but it wasn't the same.
It had the same problem of Resident Evil 5 and 6.
Yes. It had a story that continued the stories, but it wasn't like Resident Evil 1 through 4.
Now, I've got one more thing to mention, and this one is more of a sad thing
All right.
than anything. And it's not something that's limited to just EA and BioWare. This is something that happens everywhere and has led to lots of studios getting shut down or people quitting for one reason or another.
Okay.
BioWare. Once they saw this, that this whole article was released and everybody was all like, WTF, BioWare.
What are you doing?
Yeah, they went into full on PR recovery mode, as you do.
As you do.
And here's I haven't read that entire article, but I've heard a portion of it, and this one was brought to light by Jim motherfucking Sterling's son.
I love Jim motherfucking Sterling's son.
Thank God for him.
Mm-hmm.
Where he basically talks about how this is from the CEO of BioWare, where he talks about how a lot of the times they feel that their games do well when they produce that so-called, and he coined this term himself,
Magic.
BioWare magic.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are not in the know of what BioWare magic is, it's basically crunch time. And for those who don't know what crunch time is, then you've never held a real job in your whole life.
No.
But in all seriousness, crunch time is when all bets are off, all hands on deck. We need to ship the product out yesterday. So grab your camping gear, get your sleeping bags and your pillows. Some of y'all ain't even going to go home tonight, or let alone tomorrow. We need to put in the work.
Yeah.
And we should have done that months ago, but we're doing it now.
Yup.
Now, Tim Schafer, probably one of the best game developers out there, who owns Double Fine Productions, makers of such classics as Psychonauts and the Sam and Max series. He says that he's one of those guys who's not a proponent of crunch time. Can't stand it. And I agree, because crunch time, it can make you sloppy. Ladies and gentlemen, whenever you're working on something and you're working on something that requires a lot of care and thought, you want to take as much time as you can on it so that you can make a quality product. But if you are lacking in the precious resource in the universe, which is time,
Yeah.
then sometimes you're going to have to sacrifice a bit of that quality in order to get whatever you're trying to make out to the public. Tim Schafer is one of those dudes who understands that he doesn't like the idea of crunch, but he's not the one to abolish it because he understands things need to be planned out, they need to be developed, and they need to be made within a certain time schedule. The folks at BioWare, however, well, as we discussed earlier, you know how their scheduling went, so they figured that, well,
Oh, yes.
if we just have everybody's nose at the grindstone 24/7, 365, then it speaks for the results speak for themselves. We get a good game that comes out, and it comes out finished. It might be a bit jank in some areas, but we can patch that out because that's what current gen games do, right?
Ugh.
Right?
So annoying.
Mass Effect Andromeda happened.
Yep.
The ending to Mass Effect 3 happened. Or the ending
Yeah.
for Mass Effect 3 happened. And some of the initial development for Dragon Age Origins. No, it's not Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
And something a bit more closer to Zord's home, Destiny 2.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. There was a shitloads of issues with Destiny 1 and 2, and a lot of it was Activision. It caused, not exactly Bungie, but Activision itself. Because they were like, we need to make this money, we need to do this and this and this, we need to cut this content, this needs to come out now. And they actually, before Destiny 2 came out, I don't even remember how long it was before Destiny 2 came out, but they actually got rid of all that they had and redid the entire game right before it came out.
And that will usually kill a game.
And it almost did. I mean, Destiny 2 is... I wouldn't say it's had a lot of issues, but it has not had a smooth run. Let's say that. It's not as smooth as run as it should have had. I still like it. I still play it. I still enjoy, everything I do with it. It's just, it could have been a hell of a lot better than it actually was.
Yeah.
Which makes me sad.
There are very few instances where if you're working for X number of years, only to find out that you have to scrap it and then start from scratch again, will you ever make something that's successful?
Right.
Few instances like Final Fantasy XIV is when something like that was actually better for the game as a whole.
Yeah.
I was there for beta testing for Final Fantasy XIV, and oh my god.
Was it that bad?
Why? Here's the thing. Why host a beta test where you're not gonna listen to the beta testers?
Anti-mutagen.
Exactly. So when you get to the point where you yourself host an event in game where you're basically saying we're scrapping everything and starting fresh, perhaps maybe you should have listened to us in the first place so we can avoid all of this mess.
That would make sense.
But stuff happened anyway, and we ended up getting Final Fantasy XIV Reborn, which was a hell of a lot better. Thank you, devs, for finally opening up your ears, even though some of us feel it was a bit too late. But you ended up winning us over much time later. Now, back on track. Crunch time. Some of it, a limited amount of it, is sometimes necessary. But when you do it all the time, especially when you're trying to crank out that BioWare magic, it's not going to be as the best thing in the world. In fact, it's probably going to turn out to be the worst thing in the world because when you start having your employees have mental breakdowns, cause they couldn't get X missions to work correctly or this facial animation to look right. When people are taking vacations so they don't spiral out into depression, or because their personal relationships are going through a hellfire, maybe that Bioware magic ain't so magic.
Every time I hear that term BioWare magic, I think it sounds like, diarrhea. They're like, I got that BioWare magic. Oh, God, I've been in the toilet all day. Oh, my God, the BioWare magic.
Bioware magic. Now, and here's the thing, though.
Sweet baby Jesus, I'm suffering from severe BioWare magic. Oh, dear God, I'm about to blow an O-ring.
Now, Bioware magic, as crappy as it sounds, especially with that comparison we just made, it doesn't necessarily always justify, or it doesn't always affect the bottom line. Because, like we discussed earlier, there are a lot of times where even though the staff suffers, occasionally you'll still get a product that you can still sell. And companies, especially companies who have investors, that's the only thing that they're really interested in. Despite how rocky the development process is and how many employees you had to sacrifice, will this still make bank? Is all they're interested in at the end of the day. And sad to say, some games actually do end up turning a profit, despite the fact that they had the most rockiest of development cycles. Case in point, Red Dead Redemption 2, or pretty much any of the recent games that came out from Rockstar developers, Rockstar Development Games. When that article came out, that basically said that was basically Rockstar saying we're proud to put in 100-hour work weeks. It allows us to develop a interesting product, and all our stuff's so good, and everybody doesn't. Well, we don't have nobody complaining about putting in that many hours during a week. Well, when the numbers came out, at the end of the day, it proves them right. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, despite, them having their own version of BioWare magic, and the numbers spoke for themselves. It sold very well, and it continues to sell pretty well.
Rockstar magic. That's that feeling you get after you drank too many Rockstar energy drinks and your heart's racing and you feel like you're gonna die. That's what that is.
You know what? I've drunken Rockstar previously, like recently, and it doesn't really do much anything for me anymore.
That's because we've consumed a large amount of caffeine in our life. I mean, not to mention the weekend of AWA where me and you lived off of caffeine and fucking Yellow Jackets.
Oh my God. That was the worst decision we've ever made.
Yes. I'm pretty sure our hearts are both screwed up from that weekend.
I remember going to work at Quick Trip one time and then having to pause myself and I'm like, am I having a heart attack?
What is this feeling?
I'm good.
No, I'm all right. And then, of course, that Monday morning after the convention, we're both laying in your room dead. I don't want to do anything. Life
I don't
is
want
misery.
to live. The pre-con depression and con crud started kicking in.
Yeah.
Or post-con depression.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of conventions, let's get into the good juicy stuff. Ranger Stop Atlanta is going to happen in June.
Ranger Stop?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ranger Stop and PopCon. It is June 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in Atlanta at the Sheraton.
The newest Comic-Con in 2019.
Now, I am going to be doing my best to get tickets for it because they got Karen Ashley, Nakia Burris, both of the Yellow Rangers to replace Trini. They got Kale Mitchell's going to show up so I can meet Kale because I want to meet Kale and ask him if he still loves orange soda. Walter Jones, Catherine Sutherland, Johnny Cruz, which is the guy who does Lucio. Not Lucio. Yeah, Lucio from Overwatch.
Yep. Radio Medic.
Yep. Black Nerd Comedy, Andre Meadows. Samantha Newark, which is from Gem and the Holograms. Brennan Meja, which is from one of the newer recent ones, the Dino Charge. Dino Charge.
Yeah, he's from Dino Charger.
Yep, and another Gem and the Hologram lady, Veronica Taylor. She is in Pokemon, Sailor Pluto, and TMNT. And then the man, Austin St. John's going to be there.
Dude, Austin.
Yep, the only real reason I'd go there. Christopher Kamen Lee, douchebag Andros. And then Blake Foster, the guy who played Justin, the creepy little kid ranger.
Oh, yeah. Guys, I'm the new Blue Ranger.
Why do you grow tall?
He's not the first one to do it.
I know, that's the scary part. But no, dude, seriously, I want to meet. I gotta meet them all. Honestly, I gotta meet them all.
Oh man.
Because speaking of life goals, I have a life goal of hugging every Power Ranger I possibly can.
That's right.
They're gonna have a very large, bearded, blonde-haired man giving them a hug.
Wasn't your first one Johnny Young Bosch?
It was Johnny Young Bosch, and then I got the Yellow Ranger from Lost Galaxy.
I wonder if he'll show up to this convention.
He's not on the list yet.
Well, they have a question mark for the last one on the guest list.
Yep. But I do know that I have yet to find any convention with old Jason David Frank and Austin St. John's on the same list.
Jason David Frank, the last convention I saw him in was in WonderCon in New Orleans.
Yeah?
Yeah. And he was alongside Johnny Young Bosch, actually.
Oh yeah, him and Johnny are friends.
Yeah.
But it's I don't see them ever billing together at a convention. Which makes me laugh because of the whole feud thing that supposedly was going on. Every time they don't bill together at a convention, it just reinforced the fact that, Tommy's a douchebag. Tommy is the worst, Power Ranger ever. Because he's like, I'm like that, what is that? I'm like a, fucking hell, I can't speak today. Like a high school jock that can't ever get off the field 20 years later. And I'm not knocking the guy for doing it. I don't blame him one bit. Paycheck's a paycheck, man. More power to him. But I was watching Power Ranger panel earlier because I like to watch them every once in a while just to see what's going on and what new stories. By the way, Bulk and Skull panels are still the best panels you'll ever watch. Holy crap, those two. Those two are hysterical. Okay? Those two are amazing together. They are every bit the goofballs and best friends in real life. They're best friends in real life. They became best friends on Power Rangers and stayed in touch. Ever. Yep. I was watching one earlier where they had a lot of the original Power Rangers up there. And Rocky was talking about, when I came in because I was a martial artist. I had no clue how to act. As a matter of fact, they assigned me an acting teacher. My acting teacher was Paul Schroeder, which is Bulk. So Bulk was teaching him how to act.
Bulk was teaching a Power Ranger how to power.
Yes. Both. Jason Narvi, Skull, he has a doctorate in acting. He went to school and got his doctorate in acting.
Also knows how to play the piano. Apparently.
Yes, which always cracks me up because they somebody once asked him in a panel, was like, "You guys ever wanted to be Power Rangers?" And they're like, "No, we like getting a paycheck." Yeah, like a lot of them. I know that Pauly Schroeder, guy who played Bulk, he went on to direct and ADR and do a bunch of stuff for Power Rangers after he went off the show. And Jason Narvi, which is Skull, he went to college, got his doctorate, has an acting school, and he teaches at acting school, and he does like Broadway plays and convention panels and stuff. And I mean, they are class acts. Like they came in during this one panel and like halfway through and like made a huge show about it. As a matter of fact, they were so distracting that like halfway through, one of the guys were like, I know, you can't answer the questions right now because we're trying to figure out what the hell they're doing down there." And they're both sitting there eating pieces of pizza, ridiculously as possible, you know. Yeah, Skull's taking a bite out of the pizza and has a napkin, and he's dabbing his cheeks and then throwing the napkin into the crowd and getting another napkin out. It's like, oh my god. So, I have an Echo, Toad.
I do not have an echo.
I do. I can hear myself. Do 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 do. All right, I think that no, it didn't. Never mind. We'll have to deal with it until the end of this because it's about time to wrap this one up, anyways.
We've been talking for a bit.
But yeah, if you ever get a chance to watch those Power Morphicon panels, they're really good. Before I got in touch with you and started doing this, I was watching the one with JDF, and God, he's a douchebag. He's a nice guy. He's a ridiculously nice guy. I like, but
Wow, what a nice guy.
but wow, he just he comes off as a douchebag.
You know what I think it is?
Hmm.
I think it's that Patrick Swayze effect.
Okay, explain.
Okay, remember Patrick Swayze's character? What was it, Donnie Darko?
Patrick Swayze was in Donnie Darko? Yes. Okay,
Believe-
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Remember how the guy generally seemed like he wanted to help people, not.
Yeah.
But when he came to him doing the presentation at Donnie Darko's school, Donnie Darko was all trolling him throughout the entire thing until they carried him out.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's going on here, despite the fact that later on we find out that he has a treasure trove of pedophilic porn in his basement. Okay.
The bad part
so
is... Go ahead.
Maybe this isn't the best
No,
analogy
I don't-
I came up with.
No. I get what you're trying to say, but actually, I don't think that's it. I think he's legitimately a nice guy, but he is...
Like you feel like he's a nice person, but like a lot of it's just for public displays. Like it feels fake for you.
He's probably a nice person, like, when he's not in public, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain it. It's like, I watched another interview with him, and the entire time, his humbleness seems fake. There we go. It's like,
Okay.
I'm really humbled, I appreciate my fans, but I'm going to charge you $150 for this picture.
No, he's an entertainer as well as an instructor.
Yeah, he's very much, that's what I'm saying, that
He's got to make a living.
I know, and it's just that part and the image he's trying to project doesn't seem right. Doesn't match right, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Power Rangers made him a rock star.
He has the douchebag rock star mentality. There we go.
Besides Billy, Tommy was the longest Ranger to appear in that show, longer than anyone else in the entire show's history.
Yeah, we know. We actually no, that's not right. Bulk was there longer.
I said Ranger.
Doesn't matter. Bulk was there longer.
Bulk, okay, character-wise, sure, Bulk was in there the longest, but Rangers,
He was the longest running Ranger.
right?
That's why I give him the analogy of like a jock that just won't get off the football field.
Hey, if he can still throw that pass, though,
Yeah.
might as well, get him in the end zone.
No, it's just really creepy seeing him in the spandex now. It's like, come on, dude.
I don't know
Creepy.
that Lord Draken outfit and persona they developed. It's kind of cool.
It is pretty cool. To Kelly 20 years ago. Kelly now thinks he looks like a pretentious douche.
Wow. I mean, Lord Draken is the villain.
Yeah, even Tommy though.
You're gonna hate me though whenever I develop that one build your own Sentai video game, and I have him as one of the voice actors.
Oh hell no! I'll be glad to meet him. That's the thing though. It's like regardless of this, I'm like I'd still meet the shit out of the guy.
You'd still meet him, but you
Yes.
still have your reservation.
I probably would tell him my opinion too.
You would. You
I
told Vic
have
your
s-
opinion.
I did tell Vic my opinion.
You
didn't
told Vic all your opinions.
I really did. I just, it's, yeah. Like I still love it. I still love Tommy watching the old stuff and all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, you're a pretentious douche. Please stop, please.
You can't get over the say.
Oh God, it's so obnoxious now. Back in the day, it was amazing. Now it's like, oh, shut the fuck up, would you?
Oh, he'd be perfect for like a shonen anime.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he needs to get on Johnny on Bosch's level and just have him audition for like the next shonen protagonist.
No, I'd be like, you can't see my face, so it's not worth it. Sorry.
Oh, we couldn't see your face 80% of the time.
I know. Are there any stunts involved?
No. Out of all the Rangers, they gave him time because of that ponytail.
It was the ponytail.
It was the hair.
It was the hair.
Because that dude had some luscious locks during all those seasons until he finally shaved it when he was in what was it?
Zio, I think.
No, he still had long hair. And that was when he started really growing it because he was connecting with his Native American roots.
Maybe it was
It
might
was
have
later
been
on
Dino
when he
Thunder.
Was, Dino Thunder. That's what it was.
Dino Thunder. He got the little the spiky haired douchebag look.
Yeah, he got the spiky haired look and the flavor saver.
He did. That wasn't a flavor saver.
Making fun of my flavor saver, yo?
It's not a flavor saver. That's somebody put some dirt on his chin.
A soul patch. I don't know.
Okay, Frank originally auditioned for the role of Jason Lee Scott, the Red Ranger, but lost to Austin St. John. Of course he did, because Austin St. John's better.
You want to know what's even more interesting? He also there's a pilot episode of Jason David Frank playing the lead character in VR Trooper.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Adam Steele.
Yeah.
But then apparently people were upset over Tommy being gone from the show, and parents were concerned, so they brought him back as the White Ranger.
It was a shot-for-shot recreation of that episode.
Yep. Cybertron. That's what it was called.
That's what they originally called it.
Yep.
But then VR.
He was in Family Matters
When?
in 1996 as a character named Skull.
You played a character named Skull
In Family Matters.
in Family Matters. That is... I don't know if that's him coming full circle or what.
Okay, I guess here's the part that always kind of just disturbed me
Hmm.
and that just annoyed me is a lot of these other guys went off to do other things and you know live a life, and he did too to an extent, but then he just kept showing up over and over and over and over again, and it's like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, it's like a lot of our favorite musicians back who've they've stopped creating albums, but they'll always go on tour, performing the hits and the classics.
Eh,
It's the thing that made them the most famous. While they'll experiment every so often, maybe try something different, or rest on the income that their old stuff has given them so far, they'll always default back to the thing that made them the most famous.
yeah, Austin St. John. His real name is Jason Geiger. That's funny.
I'm not sure if it's a better name or a worse name because his last name is Geiger,
Hey man, his name
as
is
in
Jason.
earthquake counter.
His name is Jason. Geiger counter is is for radiation.
Radiation.
Yeah.
Even better.
Jason Geiger played Jason Lee Scott.
Jason played Jason.
Yep. He let's see. In '98, he was in a thing called Expose. Lost episodes. There's a couple episodes of Power Rangers here and there. He was in a movie in 2009, Steps Towards the Sun, Gideon's Frontier, post-production. Treslech, post-production. The Order, eventually, someday The Order will finish. He's got a couple other movies here and there that he's doing. But I mean, he became a fireman.
Became an actual real life hero.
Yeah, he went off and he did things with his life, and then came back to it later on after he had done shit. You know, that's like a hell of a lot more. I could look up to that compared to the other guy who acts like that. You know what I mean?
The guy who came back to relevancy compared to the person who struggles to stay relevant.
Now, he'll always stay relevant, but I mean, because of who he is, and everybody's like, oh my god, Tommy! And I'm like, oh my god. This guy's a pretentious douchebag. Hey, Zach, let's see, Walter Emmanuel Jones was in 90210
Hmm.
for one episode. He was Guy in the Hall. Step by Step, The Parenthood, Family Matters.
He was in Space Cases and Nickelodeon.
Yep. The Burning Zone, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Brink, early edition, In the House, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Lost. Oh, he was a monster in Lost Galaxy.
Huh.
NYPD Blue, Moesha, Spider Games, Off Center, CSI, Power Rangers,
Mhm.
Wild Force.
Dang, Moesha. I forgot about that show.
Oh, UPN. I forgot about that entire network.
What has
Huh.
he been in recently?
Miller's Justice League Mortal documentary. The Order, which I don't even know where the hell that movie is. He was angry fan in a movie with Andy Sandberg. Looks like the entire Lonely Island crew. He was an additional voice in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2. He was a voice in Open Season. He was in House of Dead 2, Locker Zombie.
He voiced a character in Red Dead Redemption.
Did he?
Yeah. Doesn't say who though.
Huh.
Oh, he was a generic character. part of the local population.
Hey man, paycheck's a paycheck.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was in Earth Defense for 2025. EDF! EDF!
All right. So now that I'm done, kind of just ranting about that, is there anything else you want to add in before we call this at the end?
Let's see. Well, besides the usual stuff, people need to follow me and you on our respective social medias, which
There's stuff that's
I'm
going to be
pretty
in the
sure.
description on YouTube. Just click it, follow if you haven't followed already.
yeah, go ahead and plug all that stuff. You know, our Twitters or Instagrams if you use one.
What he said.
I got a Patreon. Anybody has any spare change they want to lend me?
Right.
I mean, hell, I might as well.
You're breaking up, Tony. I can't hear you.
To give me your money.
All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this show up. Figure out a question to ask everybody who's watching this on YouTube and on Twitch to leave a comment in the comment section and answer the question. Let's see.
Oh, I know a question.
All right.
If you've seen Power Rangers, who is your favorite Ranger?
Tommy's not a good answer.
And it cannot be Tommy.
Cannot be Tommy. All right,
And
guys.
if you can't think of a specific Ranger, how about a specific
Color and show.
Yeah, color and show.
That's fine with me. All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are beautiful, awesome. We love your face. Tony, say goodnight.
May the forces of evil become confused on the way to your house.
Banging it.